Oh boy. There was a lot on Smackdown that had to do with the Cody Rhodes storyline. And the biggest of it all was at the end of the show. We will talk about it after the intro. All of it. But if you are new, like and subscribe. Drew McIntyre was fussing, again talking about how Cody and Nick Aldis and how everyone is wrongdoing him. You know how Drew McIntyre is. He thinks everyone is just doing him wrong all the time. Well, both Nick Aldis and Jacob Fatu had a little something to say about that. A little back and forth. Jacob had a few points for Drew. But in the end, Drew turned to Nick Aldis and he said he quits. And then he walked out. Kind of like the Jey Uso thing that happened a while ago. You know, this storyline has been used a few times. They don't do it often, but they'll use it every now and then of the WWE wrestler quitting for right now. So we'll see where this goes. Alexa and Charlotte were in a tag team match against the Irresistible Forces. The Bella Twins were at ringside because they said they're next in line and they want to view the action up and close, blah blah blah. But usually when someone's sitting at ringside, they wind up getting involved. This was no different. The match starts making its way to the outside. Nia Jax and Charlotte, and I'm sure you guys can see where this is going, but it doesn't necessarily happen the way you might think. As Charlotte moves out of the way, Nia almost runs into both of the Bellas, but is able to stop. But then she grabs Nikki Bella and pulls Nikki Bella into the fight. And she winds up getting kicked by Charlotte Flair. Yes. Brie Bella suffers a similar fate, getting shoved down by Nia Jax, and then Charlotte Flair is able to do that little flip move where she takes him down by the neck. Alexa Bliss is getting ready to finish the thing until Brie Bella runs in there and ruins it, disqualifying the match. And then it turns into a brawl between all six of them, but the Irresistible Forces kind of like winded up taking back control and pretty much messing the other four up, as you can see in the image here. Sami Zayn again. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes face to face once again. Sami Zayn was giving Cody Rhodes congratulations. Sami Zayn mentioned that he looks up to Randy Orton and that he does not look up to Cody Rhodes. And Sami was saying that that's because him and Cody are supposed to be friends. I mean, that doesn't make much sense, but okay, whatever. Cody looked at Sami and he said that Sami inspires him. So it's kind of like the opposite for Cody that it is for Sami. Then that's when Cody was like, okay, do you want a title shot? Sami kind of had like this little smile like for a millisecond and then like went back to normal and said that he feels as though Cody is thinking low of him to say something like that. Again, doesn't make much sense. In the end, Cody was like, what is this whole thing about? Like, he was like really trying to figure it out. And then at the end, Cody said, fine, don't look up to me. If you don't. But look at this title. And then he walked off. And Sami again slammed a few cups and water bottles. Jacob Fatu versus Trick Williams. The match was traditional until the referee's back was turned, and then Drew McIntyre shows back up. Yes, Drew McIntyre has not quit anything. He is still very much in WWE. He grabs Jacob Fatu and slams him into the steel post and then puts him back in the ring. Of course, the referee saw none of that. And Trick Williams, you know that knee where he runs up and hits him with that knee, that running knee? He hit Jacob Fatu with that twice and got the 1, 2, 3. on Jacob Fatu. A few minutes later, Drew McIntyre walked in the ring and hit a Claymore kick onto Jacob Fatu. Drew McIntyre just won't stop. A little while later, Nick Aldis announced that Drew will face Jacob next week on Smackdown, so we'll see how that turns out. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes are pretty much considered best friends. I mean, they've had maybe a few issues over the years in WWE, but for the most part, they've been considered best friends. Best friends no longer. Let's get into it. First of all, in the beginning, Randy was acting like, of course, like he's Cody's best friend, all of that. He said he didn't want to sign the contract. And he said it was really supposed to be Drew McIntyre that he's facing at WrestleMania. But Cody really didn't want to hear that. Cody was hyping up Randy, calling him the Legend Killer and bringing up the 3 most dangerous words to RKO, just hyping up Randy Orton. He eventually hyped up Orton enough to finally sign the contract. Okay? Things seem normal so far, but that does not last long because he betrays Cody Rhodes seconds later, slams his head onto the table, and hits a low blow right after that. The beatdown gets worse. Randy Orton grabs the steel stairs, hits Cody Rhodes with the steel stairs. And I'm probably going to blur the image, but Cody's face was covered in blood. Okay. And then after that, he laid Cody like in the steps, like he was going to try to do some epic move. He put him on the announce table and like laid him in the steel steps. But then the security came, and then Jelly Roll came again. Supposed to be another one of Randy's friends, Jelly Roll. Randy Orton shoves down Jelly Roll to the ground. Randy Orton walks out, and while everyone is caring for Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton shows back up, jumps up on the announce table with a steel chair, and hits a concerto while Cody is still laying in the steel steps. I guess that's a bit of a nod to his old tag partner, Edge. Then after that, Randy Orton just sits in the ring. He uses the chair to sit in and holds the WWE Championship as the show fades to black. Like, wow, man, heel Randy Orton is back. We haven't seen him in like 5 or 6 years. Man, this is gonna be crazy. It definitely was a surprise. It's interesting where things are going next. Yeah, this is interesting. What direction is Sammy headed in? We still don't know. It's a lot going on. Brock Lesnar's supposed to be on Raw Monday. Wrestling, of course, we know how WrestleMania season is. Anything can usually happen during WrestleMania season. But that's it for this video, peeps. Peace out, peeps.